Welcome to the channel, folks. Clunkers and Classics. Last episode we pulled the motor transmission out of the 2001 Silverado. I busted this end off and this off. Showed you last video. I GB welded them on there. We'll see if they hold. If they don't, you know, worst case scenario, replace the intake. Yeah, I should have probably taken the intake off to pull it, but I didn't want to. It's too much. I didn't want to disconnect all the fuel injector things and everything. So anyway, we got it without too much damage. I pulled the truck out with my Jeep here. I didn't show that. So that's how I was moving it, a couple inches at a time. And then once it was completely out, just pulled it out, and we're gonna push it down here somewhere, and then advertise it and see how much parts we can sell off of it. I think just about everything good will sell off of it. Okay, it took a while because I took all the I covered this up because I was degreasing it. Covered up all the electrical computer boxes and everything. Most of that's, a big chunk of that's going to be disconnected from it, but for now I just kind of left everything there. It's got the harness going all the way to the fuel tank here, and I got the fuel lines. I'll show you all that in a minute. So I kind of degreased it, but I didn't have any degreaser. I used a couple of cans of glass cleaner and carpet cleaner crap I had laying around. Scraped it with a putty knife. I think I'll go get some degreaser and clean it up a little bit better. Okay, that's about everything I think I need. It's here. Here's the fuel lines, the air cleaner. Probably get the little aftermarket breather thing. Just need something for the mass airflow sensor to hook up. But anyway, here's all the little stuff that I could probably use. Some of it's inside. Check the drive shaft, and the yokes are the same. I can't believe it. From 68 to 2001, they're the same. This is the original drive shaft from the Nomad. At least I hope it is. It was laying in the back. And this is from the truck. So the problem with the truck one, it's longer, but they look to be about the same size. Though this one's got the clips on the outside, this one's got the clips on the inside. We'll see if we can make it work. So I'd like to switch that over to that, but we don't even know if the drive shaft is going to fit in this. I don't know how long that transmission is compared to a factory one that was in here, which there wasn't one in. I didn't know whether it'd be a short shaft or long shaft in a wagon. You know, cars are short shaft, trucks are long shaft, and I don't know what that is. Worst case scenario, we're gonna have to send the drive shaft out to get cut, shortened. This car never came with a cross member. This cross member here is out of the parts car I got in the back. It's been a while since I showed that. Somebody said it wouldn't fit, and I thought I seen somewhere that someone said, no, a cross member out of a wagon won't, or a two-door won't fit a wagon. Well, it fit. I stuck it underneath there and it fits right in the frame rail, so I don't know. And then I got the motor mounts off that Chevelle, but I didn't take them off yet. They pretty much go right here, the clamshell one, so I still need to watch a video to see how they do the motor mounts on them. See if I can make something work without buying a kit. We're gonna try to get everything working without buying anything. I mean, I'll have to buy something eventually, but just to so I want to thank Brandon for this. He just sent me this. It's electronic ultrasonic parts cleaner. Not exactly sure how it operates and all that. but I don't know. Might use it. Can't put very big parts in there, but got brand new lug nuts off of eBay. Lug nut guys, not sponsored or nothing. I bought this set. They're about 20 bucks for a set of for all 4 wheels, so 20 of them, about $1. I bought these because they fit those rims there, and then you can get the regular acorn ones if you're just using like rally rims. You don't need the spacer. It rained out, so got a bunch of surface rust. I sprayed some WD-40 on it, but I'm going to paint these calipers, probably some 415. Paint them, get that little stuff out of the way. I'm going to paint this with 415. Drive shaft I'm not sure of yet. We'll get new U-joints for it for sure. Okay, so enough about rambling. What's the plan? Okay, here's the plan. I'm gonna have to get a trailer or something. I can't move this hoist here in the dirt. Get a trailer, load it on, put tires on the Nomad, back it up, put the trailer here, dump off the engine transmission on the hoist, swing it around, pull the, probably with a, damn cats. Come on, get out of there. So I'm gonna have to be moving this back and forth and trying to get it in there. And we're gonna see if the oil pan hits, if anything hits the accessories. I don't know. You hear all these different stories, but you don't know. You know, it depends on what people are putting them in. You know, they're putting them in, you know, different cars and stuff. I need someone that's put it in a '68 Chevelle and all that. So you hear the stuff like, oh, the cross member won't fit. Well, it did fit. So, you know, so that's the plan of sliding it in there and seeing where I need to put the motor mounts. If it's only an inch or so difference, we're going to move it forwards or backwards to make this drive shaft fit, because I don't think it matters too much where it sits, you know, within reason. Okay, so that's the plan. And then once it's hooked up, get the motor mounts in there. I need to get a new transmission mount, get the cross member in there. We're going to mount the engine, mount the transmission, see if the drive shaft fits, like I said. And then we're going to use all this stuff that I already got. Cats tore this up. And we're going to hook all that up. We're going to hook it up to the old gas tank, just kind of set it off to the side. We got the column here. We're going to hook up the electrical to the column, the gas tank, and we're going to see if it starts with a key. See if it starts, runs, and then the gauges. I got the gauges in here. Remember last episode I left all the electrical connections for the gauge and the OBD2 reader thing. So we're going to hook all this up and see if it all works. It should. And then once it works, we're going to start trying to trim this thing down, because I don't think I need a lot of this. I didn't want to take it all. I'm going to degrease it some more. There's a lot of boxes on here with just a few wires coming out and a lot of heavy stuff. We're going to see if we can get rid of a lot of that stuff and take out all the wires that I don't need. Like, I just snipped them. You know, I kept the wiring up to the gas tank, but the ones to the tail lights and stuff I don't need, I snipped them. So we're going to just take them completely out of the harness. Same with the front. Okay, so and then that's what I want to do. I want to take like one set of you know, the back tail lights out and all that wiring stuff, and then see if it starts again. Make sure I'm not snipping the wrong wires. Do that one at a time till we get exactly just what we need, and there's less fuse block boxes and stuff that and then we'll go from there. Okay, after that we may send the computer out and get the key delete and use the regular ignition key on this, because I don't think I can use that column on this car. So stuff like that. But anyway, that's the plan for now. Okay, I doubt we're going to get that all done in this video. It's just going to be a little chore here, getting this engine transmission in here and getting the car in position and going back and forth and seeing how it fits. So that's going to be what this video is about, trying to make this damn thing fit. Okay, and then of course the fuel system, after we'll see if it works with this. We know where everything works in the truck. Last video we had the truck running, it starts up fine and runs fine. Then we're gonna have to figure out if we want to use this fuel pump, some of the fuel lines. We can't use this tank. We're gonna see if we can use the tank on there, but I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna have to get a standalone fuel pump, and then figure out where the return's gonna go back into that tank. I don't know, I got some other ideas on that, but that'll be down the road. So right now I'm gonna look up some videos on the motor mount situation there and see how people are doing it, see if I can find somebody doing it in a Chevelle, because these motor mounts for the truck are completely different than the Chevelle. Anyway, that's the plan. I'll be back when I get some more stuff done. So this is the front drive shaft in the truck. I'm gonna take that yoke off for now. See if it fits on there. Pour 15 this, and the hubs and the calipers. So that's what I'll be doing. Then I'll get a trailer, move this over here, get everything situated so we can go in and out. Okay, so I'll be back when I get something accomplished. Okay guys, thought I'd just show you the process. Lifted it up, put the hoist over here, put it on my trailer, 20-foot trailer. I wish I had a smaller one, but I was thinking of bringing it in through here, but I think I'm going to drive around and back it up in through here and try to get it right in here. Put the wheels on the Nomad, it rolls pretty easy. So backed it up. We'll get the motor right here, push the Nomad up somehow, and try to stab it in there. I watched one video, but the guy, he wasn't showing what he was doing. He showed it after he was all done. And he says that the oil pan, I don't know. Well, see, the thing is, he was doing a 6.0 in a Le Mans, which is supposed to be A body, supposed to be all the same as Chevelle, GTO, Skylark, all that. I don't see it, but he says the oil pan will almost hit the steering arm right here, and he can't turn all the way. He can turn, but when he cranks it all the way, it hits. So I guess he's talking about this hitting. I don't know, I'm gonna watch some more videos. I don't know why he can't just shim it up. But I need to watch some more, mainly about the motor mounts, because you know, if you can put it up a little bit. And then somebody in the comments, somebody asked him about the oil pan, and he said, oh yeah, the back was the problem too. And he said he used the original truck oil pan, but I think it was a 6.0. I don't know if they're different from 5.3s. And he said, oh yeah, I had a big problem with the back of it too. Well, I don't see a problem with the back. Back's back here, so I don't know. Anyway, that's going to be the plan. We'll get it here and set it in there and see what happens. See what hits. Then he did all kinds of brackets and stuff to get all the pulleys up, and I don't know. He didn't really explain what was hitting or anything. He didn't have AC on it, so maybe it was an AC delete thing. But he said he made a bracket and pulled this up and that up and made a bracket over here, and then he bought all the brackets for the motor mounts. Anyway, we're fixing to find out, so I'll be back in a little while. Okay guys, I got her backed up in here. Fixing to put her back on the hoist and try to get it more level so we can slide it in there a lot easier. If anybody wants some cats, these cats jumping around on the trailer, and it's time to get rid of them. I put an ad in Craigslist, but I don't think anybody reads Craigslist anymore, and you can't put pets on Facebook Marketplace. So I don't know. Got 6 cats here. Their kitties are almost full grown, and they're just kind of being a pain in the ass. But anyway, if you're close, want any kittens, I don't know which are male or female, can't tell, and they're going to start breeding each other here, and before too long, I'm sure. So I don't want to have a whole bunch of mortal litters of kitties. Anyway, let me get this unloaded and I'll be back. Okay guys, there it is. I just gotta get this up. Probably do it tomorrow though. Fixing to get something to eat and watch some more videos. He said, that guy in the video, that he had to change one of these manifolds and put on a Camaro 9802, and something about this, he said it's just against the frame, just I can't remember if he said one was like that and the other one he changed. I don't know. So I guess this is the easy part, getting it ready and getting it in. I think we're gonna have lots of fun, and then of course once it's in, trying to get her running. And so I'll wrap this up, keep the rain out, and that's all these cats do. They just like tearing that plastic up. They're just starting to be a real pain in the ass. They were all sitting on the roof of the Nomad there a little while ago. Okay, so we'll see you in the morning, and we'll get at her. Okay guys, first thing we got to do is get these motor mounts situated, what we need, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to need those adapters. Okay, look at this driver's side here. This is the truck mount. If you take these 3 off, because this mounts to the frame, it won't work on the Nomad. This is the one I took off the passenger side to get it out. If we can see in here without all this crap in the way. Okay. You can see there's room here to move forward, because on these LS, they are more in the middle of the engine. On an old small block, they're more forward, a couple inches forward. So you buy these adapter plates. You can see these 4 bolts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. The plate bolts to them 4 bolts, and then over a couple inches is bolt holes, and they supply the bolts to mount the old style engine mount. You get an engine mount and then a frame mount. Now this side doesn't look like it can go forward, not by much anyway, because the compressor's in the way. If you're not using AC, then it's no big deal, but we're going to be using this AC compressor, as long as it doesn't hit the frame or anything. So this one's going to be kind of a problem. Okay, so let me show you a couple of different style GM ones. See, those LS mount 4 holes. These are just 3. So I believe these are off a Nova. So that goes on there, and then this goes on the frame. And it's got the rubber thing. So this goes on the frame, this goes on the motor, and then it goes this way. And then it goes in like this. And then you get a bolt that goes through it like that. Nothing a bolt. And that's how you put them on there. But that's for a Nova. Chevelle's going to be different. I don't have any mounts like this. Chevelles are different. Chevelle has a solid mount on the frame, which I'll show you here in a minute. And then this mount on the engine has the built-in rubber. And then it comes down and bolts on this. I don't have any of those. But AutoZone has them for 10 bucks. They're not in stock, but you can get them next day. Those are what you mount on the adapter plates, and you move it over. I forget, a couple inches or something. I looked at a bunch of engines that I have. This 85 Corvette motor is completely different. This is supposed to be out of a 94 Camaro LT1. It's got the solid mounts too. So, and of course this Nomad, it didn't have the original engine, or somebody took off the mounts. It looks like there's a bunch of holes, but I believe they mount these 4 holes here. I don't know exactly what those are for. So yeah, they kind of go forward. Okay, so let's go look at my parts. 69 Chevelle parts car over here, which I've been using to build my 69 Chevelle with, and then we used a bunch of parts for the Nomad. We used that cowl, cut the cowl by the windshield cowl out. Use that. The cross member I just took out of this one. Just a little knick-knack. Oh, and then 12 bolt rear end I used in the Nomad from this one. So it's just a gift that keeps on giving. Not the little miscellaneous parts. And I didn't see these mounts at AutoZone. So, okay. So these are the solid mounts. See, here's them 4 holes. But this has got 2 holes here. The other one had, oh yeah, they had 2 rectangular ones. Anyway, these are a bit of a pain in the ass to get at the end there, because there's nuts on the end. But I'm going to try to get these off and put them on the Nomad. So they mount like that, and then the mount on the engine, which has a rubber built in, rubber, insulator to keep it from, really, you can get a solid mount, but then the car's going to be shaking all the time. So that goes on there like that. And like I say, I can get them at AutoZone. I got these. I ordered the adapters. They said 3-day delivery, but it's Sunday now, so who knows. We're probably gonna have a little bit of a delay unless I try to fit that in there without the mounts, just to get the transmission lined up, see if the drive shaft fits. So I'm fixing to take those 2 off. There is another way to mount that. You can buy motor mounts to fit them 4 holes in the LS, right where they sit, and then it has a big steel bracket coming off, and it's kind of a do-it-yourself kit, and the bracket comes down and will line up to your frame, cross member thing, and you cut it and weld it to where you want it. I don't know if I want to go that route either. I just got that flux cord welder. It'd probably be good with a good gas welder, but oh, it has two round holes there and then two big oval ones. But you can mount this anywhere. If you need to go forward a little bit, just drill some more holes, or backwards. So we don't know yet. We're going to try to make sure that drive shaft lines up, so we don't have to sub that out and lengthen it, shorten it. So yeah, the ones that use the LS part on the engine will just have a steel thing coming down, and you just weld it in there, weld it in where you want it. Okay, so that's the first snag. The second snag is the transmission mounts in stock at AutoZone, but the LS one just has one hole. It comes in, just has the one bolt for the mount instead of two. I thought about buying both and seeing if the old for a 68 Chevelle will bolt up to the bottom of the transmission here. If these bolt holes are the same right here, I might just buy both, because the one for the Chevelle is like $8, but then this one here is like 18 bucks. But I may buy both just in case the old one fits, and that way we can just put the two bolts in there. If not, I'll have to drill a hole here. I hate to. Okay, and that LS adapter that bolts in those 4 bolts, and it's over. It has 4 positions to mount the Chevelle mount. You mount it, 1, 2, 3, whichever 4 positions you want. Like I said, this one, it's not going to look like it can go forward very much. Maybe, I don't know. But if not, we can still use it, because the driver's side here has enough room. This should line up right here. Now, if this one don't line up, we'll have to move this solid mount over and drill some holes and stuff, or weld it in, or whatever. So I think we can make it work either way. Okay, so that's the first dilemma we come across. So we'll have to do some other stuff while waiting for them mounts. We may try to put it in there, may just take off these mounts here and slide it in there just to see. We can line up the transmission, see if the drive shaft fits, all that stuff. So we may do that. Okay, so let me I'll be back when I get some other stuff done. Okay guys, I just got back from AutoZone. There's those off the 69 Chevelle. I just kind of stuck one bolt in there. These are a pain in the ass to get an extension and a socket behind it. You gotta use all kinds of swivel joints and patience to get them. But anyway, I ordered the 2 ones I was telling you with the rubber that go to the engine, but they're not going to be in until tomorrow. So I got them coming, and I'm not quite sure about them. I don't know by the picture, and I can't remember what they used to look like. But the opposite ones I showed you earlier, they got the rubber in the middle, and then if the rubber ever lets go, well, you got the metal that's going to save you from the engine just jerking over and ruining stuff. I don't know if that rubber one on the engine is like that. I can't remember. Anyway, if it isn't, and it's dangerous, we may have to flip it around and use the ones I showed you earlier, like the Nova type ones at the bottom, and the regular clamp on the engine. Okay, here's a transmission mount for the Silverado. It's a 4L, set it right on there, 4L60E. So that's that one there. And like I said, it's only got the one hole. The original one that goes on that type of cross member is this one here, which has got two. So them two mount right there. And of course this one here is going to mount right in the middle of these two. So I have to drill a hole. Or I got this one ordered because it's only like 10 bucks or 7 bucks. And if these two holes here line up to the we'll use this one. And of course this one's going to be shorter too. See, we got short one and that's pretty thick. So we may, you know, we don't know if we need a taller one or lower one or what. We can always shim these two, which I need to go by Lowe's and get a whole bunch of washers in case we got to shim stuff up and down. And you could shim these too. These bolts here, you could shim them, raise and lower it. We got to get the pitch of the engine or the engine transmission and drive line. Okay, he screwed up the order on this. I ordered two U-joints for the original drive shaft, but he only gave, and then I'd ordered one for the Silverado, which is this one here. So I was going to take this yoke here and put it on here. Although they're the same, they'll both go in there in the transmission, but this one's a little bit longer. But then the U-joints look the same size, except this one's got clips on the outside and this one has clips on the inside here. It's got these type clips that go on the inside. And then these ones here are this type. So this one's not going to work because what I was thinking of doing, they're almost the same size, like the middle part of it, but the caps are a little bit different. See, I was going to take two caps off of this one and put it on this one for here. So it'd have this yoke with the clips on the inside, and then these with the outside. But this cap won't fit on there. It's a little bit too small. So it looks like we're gonna have to use this here. And we don't even know if we have to shorten or lengthen this or anything yet. So anyway, I'm gonna return this one. Well, he gave me two of them instead of one of them and two of these. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour 15 that cross member, have that ready, and pour 15 these two mounts here. Maybe the drive shaft. But anyway, that's what I'll be doing. I'll be back later. Okay guys, I'm just doing a little research on my laptop. I want to show you a little segment snippet here from the Driveway Engineer. He does a bunch of LS swaps on the cheap, and he probably explains a little bit better than I can, because get a lot of questions. Oh, just put it in older small block, it'll be easier, and it's mostly the old timers, you know. No offense, because I'm probably getting to be an old timer too, but the LS engine is just, you know, probably one of the best engines ever made, and it'll just last so much longer. Anyway, you listen to him, and he's got these little segments here. He mainly talks about, you don't need, you know, if the engine is running in the donor truck, just take it out and put it in your car. Don't bother taking it to a machine shop and you know, rebuilding it and doing all this and that. Just put it in there the way it is, because it's best to do that. And he's kind of against, he doesn't say it in this segment, but later on he says about you don't need to take it to machine shops because you know, it'll last longer as is than it would be for a machine shop to tear it apart and screw up all the tolerances and stuff like that. Okay, so listen to him for a minute or two.
Remember, these engines run correctly all the time. They always have the right air-fuel mix. They always have the right spark. They idle down the road at 2,000 RPM. They rarely see, 3,000 RPM. And they're built a lot better from the factory. Like nowadays, with everything that people have learned over the past 50 years, you have 55 years of lessons learned from Gen 1 small blocks and Gen 2 small blocks incorporated into the LS design. You have all our GD and T tolerance knowledge added in, so you don't get tolerance stack-ups anymore like you used to. These rods are right when they hit the line, when they go in the engine. People are at, a 5-level, 6 Sigma level, which means that they have 300 potential defects out of a million parts at 5 Sigma and less than 1 at a level 6 Sigma. Okay, and that's what's required to be a supplier to the big three. You have to meet those marks if you're a supplier. So everything just goes together and works right the first time. This is not your grandpappy's 283, okay? It doesn't run on straight 30 way. It's not loosey-goosey inside. The mains aren't set at, maybe 35 thou, maybe 5 thou, maybe who knows, maybe it's a Monday, maybe it's a Friday. None of that's going on anymore. This stuff is right every time, the first time, when it goes together. Which is why these Silverados and Tahoes and stuff run 200, 250, 300,000 miles nowadays. And when they're taken off the road, it's generally because, in my area, they rusted to hell, they got crashed in bad weather, or the transmission went out of them if they're a half ton. Those are pretty much the reasons why they go out. They're taken off the road. So you don't need to do all that while you're at it stuff that you think need to do coming from the small block world. It's just not a thing anymore. Like I say all the time in the Facebook group, if it spins, it wins. If you can rotate that thing 3 times, there's nothing majorly wrong with it, and you can use it as is. Or if you buy a complete donor the way you really should, if it runs and drives now, it will run and drive in your swap. Why wouldn't it? This is a Junkyard Jewel. And
okay, guys, I just thought you'd like to hear that, but LS is really the way to go. They're just such a superior engine compared to the old small blocks, and compared to having a machine shop do work to it. It's just built right from the start. And so anyway, that's one of the reasons I'm putting the LS in the Nomad. And okay, I'll be back. The animals. Okay, guys. Went to AutoZone, picked up the parts I ordered yesterday. So we'll check them out. Went to Lowe's. And the price of hardware is just crazy. I bought some new bolts for the cross member, possibly them motor mounts. And then some big, thicker washers and these washers. Yeah, that was like 40 bucks just for that. And then I got thinner for 22 bucks. That's 62 bucks. Okay. Got these spark plugs. We're going to put them in. They said the factory was Iridian something, like 11-12 bucks each. These were like $6.49 each. And I always usually use platinum, so I don't know. I think they'll be all right. Okay. One of these bolts they had yesterday, and the other one I got in today. It's supposed to be for the right mounts here, but they're way too long. So Okay, so let's check out what we got here. Here's one of the motor mounts. This is the style I got on my 69 Chevelle over there. I just checked. They go on top like that on the side of the motor. And then they go on like that. Okay, so the 4 holes, that's what those adapters for. The 4 holes on the LS would be way over here, so that makes it so it comes out. Okay, it's still gonna be, who knows, probably 3 days or so before get them in. Okay, so I got 2 of them. These were, these were only like $10.97 each, and I was worried about whether, if the rubber breaks, whether that thing would. It's got this as a safeguard, I guess. It's been a long time since I had one of these let go. I can't remember what they do, but being $10, they probably ain't gonna last very long. We may change it up later on. So they are both left and right are both the same. So there's no difference between right and left. Okay, so we got them. We got all the motor mounts. We just need the adapter plates. Now this is the transmission mount for the Chevelle. Okay, it does have a hole in the middle for, I don't know why. Okay, we wanted to see if this was the same. Yeah? Yeah, the hole lines up on the edges here. So this, we could actually use this for the for this transmission if it, I don't know, it might be about the same height. It's hard to tell. It might be the same height. But anyway, yeah, we could use that one. Probably will. Since this will bolt up to the cross member. Oh, and I painted these with Pour 15. So that that goes in there like that. I don't know why that bolts in the middle. I'll take that out, and then yeah, we'll probably swap that. And then if we need to, we could shim that more if we need to. So yeah, Pour 15 this, and the drive shaft, and these little motor mounts here. I still have them marked, but I pretty much know where they go now, but I just didn't want to mess them up. They were different from right to left. I just kind of got that set in there with one bolt. Okay, yeah, they screwed up on the U-joints. They had given me 2 for the Silverado instead of 1, so I returned those 2 and just ordered 2 for the Chevelle. 1 they had, the other ones I got to pick it up. Well, they said it was 3:30 today, so I told them I'll just come by tomorrow and pick it up. So we got 2 new U-joints for this drive shaft, but for now we'll stick this one in the end, because this one's just completely gone, and that way we can hook it up in the rear end and fit this yoke here in the transmission. So I think that's the plan. What I'm going to do now, yeah, I'll go ahead and put this transmission mount on there. So we got a lot of a little bit of slop there. You go forwards and backwards, and then so yeah, I'll go ahead and put this on that transmission. swap out the U-joint, put in the spark plugs, and I guess that's it. I don't know, we could try to fit that engine in there once I got the transmission mount. We got the cross member done, we can slide that under there, and I can at least line up the transmission and see if the drive shaft fits. That's a big obstacle we need to overcome. Make sure that drive shaft fits. If it's too far off, then we'll have to get it shortened or whatever. And as far as the motor mounts, I gotta wait for them adapter plates. But if we get the transmission lined up, then we can see where that oil pan hits. I think it's gonna clear this from what I could tell. That guy with the Le Mans, but he couldn't turn it all the way. So these little grease nipples here will hit the edge of the oil pan. So he couldn't turn his wheels all the way. So I think that's probably gonna be the problem. That's why you need to get an aftermarket oil pan thing. But we'll find out. Other than that, I think the truck oil pan sits lower. So it's actually gonna sit a lot lower here at the bottom. So if you ever hit something in the road, boom, there goes your oil pan. Unless you build some type of skid plate, which we might do if the front fits. But if the back's too low and the front's gonna hit the steering, we're gonna have to get an oil pan. We have to stop and wait, get an oil pan. But for now, we'll set it in there and see if it fits. And we'll go from there. Okay, well, I'll be back. Okay guys, the passenger side. This spark plug was really loose. Turned it by hand. This one, not very tight at all. These two were really tight. And they had been swapped before, and they had the exact same spark plugs, the Bosch Super Platinum. They even had the same two blue stripes. So anyway, that was the one at the end that was super loose. I guess it was blowing stuff out of there. The thing run good though, but so I don't know if there's any spark plug gurus out there, and who knows when they were changed, but they've most likely been changed at least once. But you know, they're good for 100,000 miles. So okay, I'm gonna do the other side, except for this one here where I got the chain blocking it. I'll do these three. Just got to remember, driver's side first one. I got to do that after it's mounted in the engine. So I'll be back. Okay, driver's side really tight, super loose, real loose. Just turn them by hand. They're barely in there. Crazy. This was the back. You know, you can tell it's blowing out something on the threads. They were just bare. You just take your fingers and turn them like that. Pull them out. Anyway, got all 7 of them in except for that one. We'll do that one later after the engine's in. Okay, I'll be back. Okay guys, it's next morning. Rained out last night. It's supposed to be a 20% chance of rain every day this week, but we don't know when. Morning, noon, after at night. A lot of rain, a little rain, we don't know, but we're getting through it. Okay, she's going in. Okay, I took off the motor mounts. As this video is basically just if it'll fit and what we need. Well, what we need for now. Okay, and I know, you know, some guys get all the parts in advance and do it in one weekend and all that, but I want to see with my own eyes what doesn't exactly fit and what it's going to need. Just like this oil pan. That's why we're going to set it in there. So anyway, these 4 bolts here. Okay, this is the truck frame mount right here. Let's take this back off. This is actually the driver's side, but Okay, so we definitely can't use that. So yeah, it's kind of the same as the Chevelle one with the rubber in the middle. Of course, it's got metal all the way around it, so if it does, the rubber lets loose. The motor's not. Okay, so there's the 4 bolts there. Now, I wish I had the adapter plate. It's not going to be in for another few days, and probably not going to make it for this video. Okay, we'll have to wait for next video, but since I explained all about the motor mount. So what the plate does is it goes in these 4 holes on the engine, and then it extends over, and then has the 3 bolt holes in 4 different positions, so you can move it over, I don't know, inch at a time, ½ inch at a time, 4 different positions. Okay, so that's what it does. The plate would be like this, that bolts in the 4 holes with an extension on it. That's basically all it is. Okay, so just so I can kind of explain it in this video a little bit better. Okay, so the plan is, like I said before, we're going to stab it in there, and we're going to line up the cross member and see if the drive shaft fits. And then we'll let it down to where we think it's going to be on the motor mounts just by looking at it, eyeballing it. And then we're going to look to see, you know, this oil pan is just, it's only a couple inches. I can't see how an aftermarket oil pan would be that much lower. There's got to be, you know, I can see this being lower, but we don't know. The video I watched, the guy had a 6.0, this a 5.3. Are they different? I don't know. I didn't look it up. So we're going to see if it, the steering arm hits here, and if this is too low. And that's about it, really. Oh, we're going to see if his 6.0 was, he said it was an 1/8 inch from the frame. And if he'd done it over again, he would have ground off an edge. I forget which side he said. So we're going to check the manifolds. And, you know, I should probably get headers. But the plan is, we're just going to leave this all stock for about a year. We're going to put it in there, get it running and driving, and drive it for about a year. Okay, with hopefully with truck gauges and all that working. And then later on, maybe we'll get the Holley kit with the with their gauges, and then you can tune it. See, that's the only advantage with the Holley, other than having the gauges working, is you can tune it. I'm not real big on tuning it at a factory thing, because then, you know, you're most likely gonna ruin, you know, blow up the engine or something eventually. So I'm a big proponent of leaving it factory. But if we get to the point we can get that Holley, you know, $1,200–1,500 bucks, and then we can tune it ourselves, and then add on, you know, what they call power adders. Add on we'll add on some headers, and, you know, maybe a turbo, you know, maybe some nitrous, you know, I don't know. Just stuff like that that'll add power to it if I really get into this drag and drive drag racing type thing with it. But who knows. But for now, it's just gonna be factory for about a year. We'll just get it in there, get it running, make sure everything works, and then it'll be a piece of cake if we got to pull it out or do whatever work to it. It'll be pretty easy to do. Okay, so let me get it in there and see what happens. Okay guys, first snag, it's the exhaust manifold. See how far the engine's over this way a little bit anyway, but that needs to go way over compared to this side. And it looks like this is going to be pretty close to the frame down here. But we kind of got to go down and in and down and in get this oil pan to clear to find out for sure. But I mean, I could take off the manifolds, but I got this chain thing right in the way, so I'd have to drop the engine somehow and undo that, then take off the manifolds. Or, which I think I'll do, is take the steering column back off right here. It's got them 2 bolts. Pull it out and see if we can get this to clear the frame over there and wiggle it in. So that's the plan. Okay guys, I think these exhaust manifolds are going to have to come off. They're going to hit the frame there. I just can't slide it in. It's barely clearing the AC box there, but you can see here it's going to hit. You'd have to get it way back there to clear it, and it's well, it's going to have to go back. See, the old pan still has to go, I don't know, a couple inches. See, the old pan there needs to go back. And I kind of got the transmission jacked up, but I might be able to, if I get the manifolds off, I'll have to tilt the engine up this way and kind of get it in there and get that oil pan past the deal. But anyway, I think there's no way around it. We're going to have to take the manifolds off. I'm going to do that. I might as well get headers, but I'll check on them, see how cheap I can get some headers. But anyway, that's the second snag, so I'll be back. Okay guys, I got the manifolds off right there, but I can't get this oil pan past the frame deal there, engine cradle. No matter what, you know, I got the jack here to jack up the back of the transmission, trying to jack that up, lower the front, slide it in, but nothing's working. It's just hitting the firewall there. And if I put it up on too much of a tilt this way, the intake's going to hit here. So the only way really to get it in is to take the transmission off, put them both in separately. That way you can drop the motor straight down. There's that way, or I could unbolt all the body mounts and jack up the body, who knows, 6 inches, something like that, and do it that way. Or if the new, see, I don't know if the aftermarket oil pan is shorter right there, that may be able to fit, but that's not a for sure thing. I don't know. So I don't know, I'm kind of stuck here. Let me think about it and I'll be back. Okay guys, I took off, it's got the one big body mount here. You can see there's a big gap. Took that one off. They were a little bit, I'll have to get some new bolts for that. Wallowed out here. Reason I didn't take all these off before was in case they broke or were rusted in there. Anyway, there's one there, then there's just a rubber stopper here with no bolt. Not supposed to have one. And then there's one here. And I think there's one at the back. Could be 2 at the back, I'm not sure. But I took those out. There's that bolt there. And these two back ones here come up pretty good, pretty easy. So I took them off and jacked it up. Okay, so that gave it enough room for the firewall to raise up and slide it in. So we get that oil pan over the hump. So so you can see here, this is It's a real good view here of where that adapter plate will go. It bolts on there, then it moves it over a little bit here, so it goes right here. I sure wish I had them right now. There's no stores around me that would sell anything like that. Okay, so as you can see, the oil pan's cleared the back. Okay, and it looks like it'll clear the front. They say this tie rod here may hit the oil pan all the way, but we're not sure exactly where it's supposed to be here yet. So, and I got the jack underneath the transmission pan there, but I do know that it's got to go down. It's going to go down that far at this firewall here, and that doesn't look like enough room. But anyway, we'll look through the bottom here. You can see the oil pan just below the thing, and it may go farther down. Same with the front of the oil pan. We don't know exactly what the height's supposed to be, but like I said, I think we can adjust it. And here's the, see, we don't know if that's gonna hit the oil pan or not. We can move these wires out of the way. We'll have to mess with that, but so far it looks like it may work. So what I'm about to do now is, see the transmission mount there, and we're going to put the cross member in. Yeah, that transmission's got to go a lot lower, a lot lower. It goes on the bottom lip of that frame. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put that cross member in there, drop that transmission down, and that should be where that sits. And then we'll get the drive shaft and see if it fits, see what the length is like. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay guys, drive shaft is way too long. Just started raining out, it just stopped for a second. It's not in all the way, but I got the two transmission mount bolts just kind of sitting in there. Then like I said, you can see all these holes here. This can just mount wherever you want, you know. So we can go forwards or backwards a little bit, but there's the back of the drive shaft there. You can see she's, I don't know, a foot too long. So this must be a long shaft and it had a short shaft in it or something, who knows. So I was trying to think if I had any other drive shafts. I had one for this big old full-size Pontiac, but I can't find it. I'm gonna go look again. And the only other ones I can think of is from a van. That's gonna be too long, most likely. And some 82 to 92 Camaros, Firebirds. We can check it. I don't know it. I don't know whether a two-door Chevelle type would work in there, but I ain't got no spares for, no spare drive shaft for Chevelles, Novas, anything like that. The truck drive shaft is a two-piece, and both of them are busted. I probably got some other ones. Say it's a two-piece. This shaft is busted. I mean, could use that front shaft, but I don't know. I got a Yukon out here. So anyway, let me hunt around for a drive shaft, and we'll see what we can do. If not, we're gonna have to send it out, get it cut, shortened. But anyway, I'll be back. Okay guys, I cannot find that Pontiac. I got a 70 Pontiac Bonneville down there, and I cannot find the drive shaft unless it's connected to it still. Engine transmission's out, but it's just buried in the ground. I have to get a jack. I pulled the engine transmission. The engine's in the 74 GTO there, and I don't know what I did with that drive shaft. I thought I had it laying over here because I got the transmission over here, and I cannot find the goddamn thing. Anyway, this one's out of an 82-92 Camaro. Actually, they fit 82 to 02. It's way too short. Then this one I found, and I'm not sure what it's out of. It's a GM truck, but I don't know if it's out of a little 98 Blazer that I got or a Suburban. It's probably out of that Blazer, but it's a little bit too short. So I don't know. It's probably got to be about that much longer. I think if I found that Pontiac one, it would be pretty close. Because like I said, I can move the engine backwards and forwards a few inches. So a few inches off. So I can't permanently mount that transmission right now because I don't know. Anyway, it looks, I lowered a little bit more. Yeah, the old pan's gonna stick down, but I think we'll build a skid plate for that. Maybe. As far as the steering, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to wait till I get the mounts in a couple of days and put them mounts in there and get this thing kind of in there, and then jack up the front and turn the wheels. Because I got the steering column out. I can't really turn the wheels to see if these things will hit. It looks like they probably will. And then we'll jack up the engine and see. It can't be too much on a pitch because the drive shaft's got to be straight, and it can't, the whole thing can't come up because it's still got to be lowered this much. I know you probably can't see, it's getting dark. So this, you just got to lower down, and we can't have it hitting the transmission. So I don't know, maybe that steering wheel hit. But anyway, this video is pretty long, so I'm going to end this one here. And next video, I'll have the motor mounts. I'll try to find a drive shaft. If not, we can mount this thing in there, and then just have the drive shaft cut to fit wherever it's mounted. And we'll mess around with it, like I said, up or down, forwards, backwards, get as close as I can. Mount the body back on the, these damn cats, I've been kicking them out of the garage. Come on, get out of there, get out of there. Anyway, I'm gonna end the video. So to be continued on the next one. It's gonna take a while. If we can get this thing mounted in there and situated, then I'll hook up all this stuff here and the fuel tank here, just over here, and just get it running. Well, I have to do something with them manifolds. I may order headers, guys. If I find some cheap headers, I may go ahead and put them on, because I'm pretty sure those flanges are gonna hit. But I'll set the manifolds in there and see. If not, I may order some headers tomorrow, and who knows, may have to order an oil pan. But anyway, we'll hook all this wiring up to the truck fuel tank and just get it running, and then we'll have to decide on the fuel situation. Somebody said, oh, just take out your storage and mount this. Well, I think it's, I probably could, but this fuel tank's in the back here underneath this quarter panel. The only problem with these older cars like this, they don't have a return or a vent line. I think there's a vent line that people use after like 1970 or something. There's a vent line, and you use that as a return for these, because you need two lines, the fuel coming in and a return. Well, this one's only got the one line, that's it, which I can use to pump the fuel if I get an aftermarket fuel pump. But I'm gonna have to run the line back, drill a hole in the gas tank or something to get it back there. But we'll figure that out later. All that's coming up. It's not gonna be, you know, stick it in there and start it up and go. It's gonna be a lot of screwing around. Like I said, I wanted to see for myself if this oil pan's gonna fit, and the cross member, and the, you know, all that stuff, to see if it fits. And I'm in no big rush, so it's not like it's a customer job or anything like that. So it's gonna be slow going, so to be continued. Subscribe if you haven't, if you want to see how this goes. This will be for any you know, Chevelle. This is the same front as a Chevelle, or it's supposed to be A bodies like Le Mans, Skylarks, stuff like that. It'd be a little bit easier if it was a Nova Camaro, which had the subframe. You can unbolt the subframe, slide it forward, mount everything in there, and then slide it underneath the car. So it's a little bit more difficult than this one, leaving the engine and transmission together. But we're doing it. So if you're, you know, wanting to do it, like I said, I haven't seen any videos yet on putting the truck transmission in there. People usually use their old transmissions, their turbo 350s, 400s, power glides, you know, 700 R4, whatever. But I want to use a truck transmission because I don't have any other transmissions. And of course, it's going to be a little bit of a task to get that thing to work in there. That's why I kept all this wiring here. See, hopefully we can, out of that mess there, we can get the transmission to work without buying an extra harness for that, an extra harness for the engine, all kind of, well, you'd have to get the Holly one for all the gauges and speedometer and all that shit to work. I know you can buy all different, you can buy different stuff, but it'll nickel and dime you to death. You know, 200 for an oil pan, 200 for headers, 1200 for a harness, 200 for a transmission harness, and it just goes on and on and on. And by the time you know it, you got thousands of dollars tied up into a swap. So we're doing it as cheap as I can. You know, I may get some headers and do some stuff, but that's how the build's going to go, guys. So don't say, oh, you just buy a $1,500 harness, you know, easy. Just no, we're not going to do that, at least not right now. We're just going as cheap as I can. So anyway, yeah, subscribe if you haven't. Follow along with me, just struggling along here. Well, I got a bunch of other stuff, but I don't want to ramble too much. This video's too long as it is. Okay, so yeah, like, comment, share, all that stuff. And we'll see y'all next video. Thanks everybody for watching.